Now let's move to the big story today. What Raleigh is doing about the violence over the 4th of July weekend.
So there were three different scenes. According to police, 3,000 teens showed up to the Briar Creek Commons, and that's where a fight broke out. Then over on Glenwood South, police tell us 5,000 teens showed up there, and again, more fights. And on Capitol Boulevard, another fight and a shooting. In all, 9 people were shot. Amazingly, no one was killed.
I want to show you video after the fact. Briar Creek on the left, Glenwood South on your right. Raleigh police believe about half of the teens who showed up on Glenwood were actually at Briar Creek earlier in the night. And they believe the shooting on Capitol Boulevard is tied to all of this as well. At least 27 people were arrested. More charges could be on the way. And investigators were very clear. They think this all stems from what's known as a teen takeover.
So this is not new. This is something that has happened all over the country, and it's been happening for years. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of teenagers and other young people all show up, and kind of havoc breaks out. And all of this is organized ahead of time online. And it brings us to a good question that we received this weekend in the 7 p.m. inbox. This one's from DJ, emailing into 7pm at WRAL.com. DJ said, how do they put it together so that thousands of teens show up? I find it hard to believe that nobody knew this was going to happen. So thank you to DJ for that email. Now, in the past, WRAL has seen these possible teen takeover talks happen online, and we have asked RPD about them. Most of the time, they tell us that they are aware and that it's being handled.
So what went wrong this time, right? Did RPD know about this one, or were they caught off guard? WRAL's Sean Gallagher went to get answers.
These so-called teen takeovers appeared to take police by surprise.
And if you can find me about 5 additional units from around the city, I need them to head that way.
Even calling Raleigh's police chief Rico Boyce into action. An arrest warrant showed he was trying to arrest someone on Glenwood South amid the chaos. I sent a list of questions to RPD about its preparedness, namely if it was aware for the potential of a takeover this weekend and what steps is it taking to prevent them from happening again in the future. Because right now there are municipalities in our state already doing things to do that.
We took a proactive approach with granting a proclamation of emergency, and we created a curfew that would start at 10 p.m. each night for that weekend.
Greenville, North Carolina Mayor P.J. Connolly says they reacted after a much smaller takeover in mid-June. About 200 people showed up with a half-dozen arrests for fighting, and a curfew is among the possible strategies in Raleigh. Mayor Janet Cowell telling me that's on the table, along with other options they're looking into. And Mayor Connolly tells me they put the curfew in place again this past weekend. They hadn't heard anything was going to happen, but felt 4th of July weekend had all the makings for fireworks. In Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
All right, so let's rewind a bit. What is a teen takeover, really, essentially? When did these all start? Why are they happening? We have a lot of questions. I'm sure you do, too. So these sort of things, again, have been going on for a long time. The earliest versions, you'll probably remember this, they were called flash mobs. Do you remember those? Groups of strangers would coordinate online, and then they'd all meet up. One of the oldest clips I could find is from 2003 from CBC News in Canada on Toronto's first flash mob that they had ever seen there, where people went into a shopping center and hopped around like frogs. Okay. Or days earlier, when hundreds of people in New York organized together to come and worship a mechanical dinosaur inside of a toy store. Yeah, so that's obviously a lot different than what we saw over the weekend, or what's happening in a lot of other major cities. For instance, we've seen it in Chicago, New York, Miami, Tampa, Washington, D.C. Charlotte has actually dealt with several of these. Sometimes there's isolated violence in the crowd, something like a fight or a stabbing. Other times it's far more widespread with fires and vandalism, shootings, brawls. In several instances, responding officers have been injured. Police have arrested kids as young as 12 years old at several of these. So what can we do about this? Raleigh's city leaders and the police department, they're working on some ideas. And it brings us to our quote of the day.
One approach may be a youth curfew for those 17 years and under. That's your quote of the day, coming from Raleigh Mayor Janet Cowell. Cowell did also mention exploring multiple approaches. She says the conversation will take place during tomorrow's City Council meeting. But since she mentioned curfews, let's talk about that. Because like Dan said, teen takeovers and the violence that can follow, it's been going on for years in other cities. And a curfew is among the first things a city will try out as a solution. The logic makes sense, right? Keep kids off the street at night and they won't commit crimes or become the victim of a crime. In the short term, it can work. Prince George's County in Maryland put a curfew in 2022, and in the first 30 days, overall crime dropped by 13%. Homicides during curfew hours dropped by more than 70%. The potential for immediate results like that is part of the reason people support curfews. We heard from business owners in the Briar Creek area who want one in place.
Let's put a curfew in place. This shouldn't even be a question. And let's fund the cops. Let's fund the firefighters and the cops. Let's get everything back to where it needs to be.
Within the last month, we've seen Charlotte and Winston-Salem put curfews in place. They did it in Charlotte after huge gatherings at parks and shopping centers led to violence. They did it in Winston-Salem after a string of violence downtown. But what happens in the long term, right? When the initial shock of a new curfew wears off, does crime keep going down? An analysis published in 2016 looked at 12 different studies on youth curfews. The researchers concluded, quote, the pattern of evidence suggests that juvenile curfews are ineffective at reducing crime and victimization. Researchers have some theories to explain why. First, there's this data from the DOJ. This graph you're looking at shows youth violent crime by time of day. You can see the most violent crime among kids happens between noon and 5 p.m., not after dark. Another theory is a lack of resources. That 2016 analysis I mentioned also found, quote, it is rare for curfew ordinances to be associated with increased law enforcement resources, reducing the likelihood of effective enforcement. Another thing to consider here is that curfews can create more problems than they aim to solve, namely the potential to violate civil rights.
It's a civil rights violation because it's basically taking just a simple action of being outside and it's making it to where it punishes people even if they didn't engage in any other unlawful conduct. So that's inherently discriminatory because it's saying that you, due to just an immutable factor about yourself, your age, something you can't control, you have the law applying different to you in a way that can limit your rights.
All right, so you heard him. What does the law say about this? How has that argument played out in court? We actually don't really have a great answer. You know, it's been debated in courtrooms for decades. A U.S. Supreme Court case from the 1970s found minors can be treated differently in many cases because of, quote, the particular vulnerability of children and their inability to make critical decisions in an informed, mature manner. Also, North Carolina state law allows curfews to exist. It says a county may impose a curfew on persons of any age less than 18. Curfews do have First Amendment exemptions like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and assembly. But how does law enforcement know where that line is? Are teenagers partying or are they assembling? Also, how does the curfew impact the rights of adults? Like, does a curfew give a police officer the right to stop and question a young-looking 20-year-old for no other reason than the fact that they look young? Dan, many of those cities that you lined up, the ones dealing with the teen takeovers for years, they have grappled with all of these questions before.
Yeah, it's why some of them are taking things a step further and trying to tamper this down. Think about it. Kids who are, jumping on cars, vandalizing property, starting fights, pulling out guns, they already don't follow the rules. So should we expect them to now respect a curfew? Of course not. And that's why some cities are going further by starting to go after their parents. In Chicago, the city council proposed increasing penalties there on parents whose children commit crimes. Fines could go as high as $1,000. In Washington, D.C., the U.S. Attorney's Office there announcing more aggressive enforcement on parents, threatening to charge them with contributing to delinquency of a minor. Janine Pirro is the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. Here she is last month talking about these new enforcement measures on parents.
So if the evidence shows the parent knew or should have known or permitted or fail to prevent participation, we're going to charge them. And if you drop your kid off and you fail to supervise them or you let them skip school to join the chaos, you are going to face fines, court-ordered classes, and possible jail time.
So this is where some other cities have ended up. What's Raleigh going to do? We're going to have to see how the discussion goes during tomorrow's city council meeting.
It's worth noting, too, that so many of the people arrested over the weekend were actually not teenagers. Some juveniles received citations, but many young adults were arrested. So it's hard to say how much the teen takeover had to do with all of that, but according to police, it seems like that's really where everything started.
It begs the question when it comes to the curfew or anything else that Raleigh decides to do. Is it aimed at stopping violence with young people in general in the evening? Is it just trying to stop these meetups where thousands of kids all come together? Will they kind of work in tandem with each other? Regardless, we will be watching and paying attention for you, and we know you'll be watching too. So what do you think about all of it? About the teen takeovers, the curfews, the youth crime? Send us an email, 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. Tell us what's on your mind, and we'll talk about it here at 7 o'clock.